Um, Work has been pretty exhausting lately. I'm not gonna lie. Hello, what's up? How we doing? Welcome back to the Good Times Cast. I'm your host Harry Bickings. Welcome to season 4, episode 1, or as I like to call it, welcome to the final season of the Good Times Cast. It's been about a week since I last recorded. I think Kendall Carnegie was my last guest. Today is Friday, February 21st, 2025. And I'm tired. I'm going to be honest, I am exhausted. And I thought what better way to jumpstart season 4 of the Good Times Cast than to talk about how tired I am. Because I feel like that was a reoccurring theme in previous seasons, was me just being a tired young man. Also, I paused the recording because I got confused for a second. I didn't even remember what app I was using to record. So currently I'm on voice memos, holding my microphone up to my mouth. So I don't even know if this is too loud or not. But I just had a random urge today. And I still think that I'm going to make a bigger deal of the Good Times Cast coming back. But today I thought, why not just jumpstart a random episode to bless you all. I don't even know if anyone's going to listen to this. Genuinely. And I don't even care at this point. I'm ready to start talking. I'm ready to start showing people what my life is all about. And you know what? I'm not going to have a set schedule. Because I feel like that's where I start to get tired, where I start to realize, maybe I don't like doing this. And it's never been about how many views I'm getting, how many followers I have. It's just, it's a place to where I can just say my thoughts, say what's going on in life. And sometimes people listen, sometimes people don't, and that's okay. So there's really going to be no set schedule for the Good Times Cast season 4. There's going to be episodes whenever I feel like it. There's going to be guests whenever I feel like it. I don't even know if you can call this the Good Times Cast season 4 if it's just going to be an episode whenever I feel like. I think season 3 of the Good Times Cast was really good. It had good ideas. I just wasn't great at executing a lot of it. Also, I had guests. I had a lot of guests, but I had a lot of guests that bailed. I had a lot of guests that didn't work out, and it sucked. I really enjoyed doing what I was doing, but, I think that was a failed attempt at coming back. And this may be a failed attempt at coming back as well, but I don't know. We'll see. There's going to be no video, I think, for the rest of the Good Times Cast. We'll see. I currently don't live in my room anymore, so I don't have a backdrop. So there's that. Maybe the Good Times Cast will be in my car from now on. I'm making it sound like I am just living on the streets. No, I live with Alex. Things are going amazing between us, if anyone was wondering. I was thinking the other day, and don't take this the wrong way, I just thought it would be insane. So I was listening to, and this is weird, I was listening to the Good Times Cast the other day. I think it was yesterday. And I was listening to the episode where I announced I had a girlfriend. And it was just, I was laying it all out. I was telling you guys, I even picked Alex up in the car. And I was just thinking, this would be, one of the most embarrassing episodes of all time if Alex and I ever broke up. But, I think we're not going anywhere. I don't know what Alex thinks. I think she could definitely do without me farting a little bit, or me being just a real goofball. But, this is my first ever relationship, but this is also, the one, and not to sound dramatic, but it is the one. And I feel like sometimes you just know. And people may be like, oh, well, this is your first girlfriend, but I don't know. You just know. But yeah, we're doing great. Things are going well. We have a pet dog. I have officially... See, I'm kind of going on to like little callbacks from the Good Times cast now. I was listening to, I was listening into bits and pieces throughout the last like 3 seasons, and I listened to I think it's called The Mental Breakdown, where, I really just went into depth about how and still, I will say, the worst month of my life was August 2022, really tough mentally on me, transitioning to overnights and, having to give up the dog that I had for a week, Walter. But I mean, he's doing great. He has a family. I haven't contacted them in a while, but we were supposed to set up a little meeting with us like a couple years ago, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't bear myself to do it. But if anyone was wondering or anyone cares, Walter is doing great with a nice big family. But I have completely redeemed myself, in my opinion. I feel like I was given a second chance with my little baby Arnie. She's a blue heeler, and she is the light of my life. She's such a good little dog. She's a little coward, though. When I take her out to go to the bathroom, even the slightest noise, she's not going. We'll try again in 15 minutes. But she's a great dog. She wants to be inside of you at all times. She has not let me sleep the last few nights. She likes to lean on me. But it's okay. I enjoy Arnie's presence. I don't really know if there's much else going on. I mean, you all know I'm on day shift now. I'm no longer on overnights. The tough mental game of overnight shift, which is great. I feel like I am just a happy guy now. Well, aside from me being just anxious all the time, but I'm a fairly happy guy now. I have a great life. I have a fantastic life. Yeah, I'm just doing good. There's nothing wrong with me. I've had a couple issues in previous seasons, and I've mouthed those reasons, but patched it all up, doing great. Only thing I'm not doing great on is financial issues, but who's ever doing good financially? I don't even know what this episode's about. I feel like, am I going to make it to 20 minutes? Maybe. Am I going to make it to 40? Probably not, but I'm doing good. Life's going well. You want me to repeat that a couple more times? Life is going great. Another thing, I was listening to season 1, just how unfunny I was. Like, the way I would purposely try to say things to make myself sound like awkward or just like stupid, where I'm like, oh, I'm laying in bed staring at the wall where all the dark thoughts come from. You gotta be kidding me, man. You actually have to be kidding me. Shut up. Everyone knows the dark thoughts are just inside your head. They're not on the wall. No. That was another attempt at me being funny, and I'm sorry. Season 4 of the Good Times cast, I'm going to be holding myself accountable. No longer funny. I'm not going to be funny anymore. I'm going to be a different person. I think I decided I'm going to steal season 1, Harry's personality. He just talked for about 45 minutes every 2 weeks and got it out. I don't really know how. I think I did like 13 episodes without a guest in the first season. I don't know how I did that. Or did I have guests in the first season? I did. I had Kaylee and Isaiah, I think, in the first season. And then season 2, it was Alex, Suzanne, Cameron. Season 3 was Riley, Joey, Cameron, Alex, my dad, Gretchen, and Kendall. So I did pretty good with guests in season 4. Will there be guests here? Maybe. I would like to do a little better with the interview process. I feel like my issue is I watch other podcasters, I watch videos, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. I want to steal that. And I mean, that's just lazy. Well, I don't try to steal it. I try to kind of, I don't know, base a segment off of that, if that makes sense. Like, Mad Lib Mania was not my idea, but I mean, that's not like something that's like, hey, you stole that, I'm gonna sue you. That's just like, oh, that's a great idea, I want to try that. But that's my issue, is I think I just try too hard to be like all the other podcasters, when that's their way of getting famous. I need to figure out my way to get famous. And, it's going to take time, but I think I can figure this out. Maybe, am I going to be recording the car with guests? I think that'd be kind of fun. I don't think the echoing's that great, but other than that, I think it's a fine place to record. You're nice and close and personal to your guest. I was also thinking I need a co-host. I'm just jotting ideas into this episode at this point. Chat, let me know if I need a co-host. See, I had a co-host in season 1, but I thought I could do it on my own, which obviously proved to not be a great idea. But you live and you learn. You live and you learn. How old was I when the first season came out? Was that 2021? I think. 2021? Yeah, so I was 19. I wasn't even 20 yet. Oh, goodness. 19-year-old Harry. I shouldn't even be talking about this because it might become a thing, but I was recently thinking of starting a podcast where I just go through the years of my life in depth. I don't even know how I would do it. Like every couple episodes is a different year. Every like 5 episodes is a different year. And I was thinking of starting at 2015 when I first moved to Virginia, because like I had a great life before that, but I feel like my life didn't really, really start until 2015. That was such a big year. I moved to Virginia. I started school. Well, that was 2016, but it jump-started all these events. I started school. I started making friends in freshman year. I didn't make any friends in 8th grade. I don't even know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast, but I definitely have, right? There's no way. Well, if you didn't know, in 8th grade when I first started, I unfortunately was a part of some rumors, and this sounds bad until I say it, but people began to tell different people in the school that I was special needs. And not that there's anything wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with being special needs. It's just, how 8th graders are, very judgy, and a lot of people stayed away from me. There were a few people that, they talked to me, and I'll always appreciate that. I'm not friends with a lot of the people that, well, no, I mean, I don't even know what I was saying. There's really only one person that, talked to me in 8th grade that I don't talk to anymore. I had maybe 3 friends at the end of the year, 8th grade, which is crazy. I almost failed social studies. I got suspended twice that year. It was a fun year. And the freshman year was really when my life started to actually, take shape, if that makes sense. I made friends finally. I had my first hangout with friends. And I don't want to give away too much, especially if I start this podcast that I'm talking about. Or maybe I'll make it like a separate to the Good Times cast. Like some episodes have guests, and then the other episodes are me, resuming the memoir of Harry Bickings. I don't even know what I would call it. I've also had thoughts of changing the Good Times cast to the Good Times Media, but I feel like that definitely is taken by now. I mean, when's the last time we had a Good Times cast drinking ASMR? Today we're going to drink a Coke Zero. Delicious. Gotta have your daily Coke Zero. I'm trying to think if anything crazy has happened since I last was on the Good Times cast, and there probably definitely has, besides the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I don't know. I really have just been on cruise control, I feel like, the last year. But I feel like this is the first time. I didn't want to come back to the Good Times cast until I felt like I had stuff to talk about. And I don't know if I necessarily have a lot. I mean, I've been blabbing on for 15 minutes, but I feel like I'm starting to get to a point in this year where things are starting to pick up. Things are looking up. Things are really starting to look up. And I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm at a good point right now where I feel like my life is starting to pick up again. You know, things are going really, really well. And I'm happy. I'm going back to school in the fall, hopefully, if I am financially ready to do it. Going back into IT. How exciting, how exciting. We'll just have to see where I am financially, because if so, I'm going to be an IT guy. Real excited. You know, I'm technically on the clock right now. I kind of forgot. I'm on the clock, and I'm sitting in my car recording a podcast. So we'll give it like 5 more minutes. Can I blab on for 5 more minutes? Probably. I'm just excited. I've had this thought this whole week that, you know, what if I just recorded an episode and just dropped it randomly without anybody even knowing it was happening? And I did it. Am I going to change the logo to the Good Times cast? I don't know. I really like where it's at. Like, I feel like this logo is it's clean. It doesn't have me on it, but it's a clean logo. And I don't want it to go anywhere. But, you know, if anyone has any suggestions, if anyone has any interest in being on the Good Times cast, genuinely hit me up. You know, DM me. Send me a DM. Shoot me a text at 8. You know, I'm game to talk if you want. Gotta remember that point in this episode because I just actually dropped my phone number. But I'm excited to be back. I'm hoping to Jesus. I'm just hoping to Jesus that this works out and I actually do end up coming back. Because it was a small part of my life, but it was a great part of my life as the Good Times cast. You know, I'll always cherish it. I'll always look back on it fondly, even though it didn't go quite the way I planned. It did not. But there wasn't a single time where I was recording or I was bored. You know, I felt like whenever I was recording, I was confident in what I was saying, and I was happy with what I was saying. And it was a good way to debrief, because I don't know if you know, but I am just a bit of a stress ball full of little anxious bugs that just crawl into me and tell me mean things. So sometimes it's good to just get everything out that's on my mind. And, you know, at this point, I don't even know if I'm going to put this episode out. I may have just been talking for 20 minutes for no reason. I don't know. But it most likely is going to be out. I'm watching one of my coworkers leave right now, so I'm probably in the clear to just sit for a few more minutes. I don't know. But, you know, I was thinking of other bits in the Good Times cast. The Fergie bit wasn't actually a bit, though. I genuinely hated Fergie. I think, and I'm saying this so confidently, I think Fergie, seriously, is one of the most talentless singers of all time. Fergalicious is a great song, but that's about it. There's also, I was a crazy guy back then. I had to delete an episode because I said some things, man. I said what was on my mind. 19-year-old Harry really was just an unhinged human being, and I'm not trying to be like, oh my gosh, he's so unhinged. He's so unhinged. You can't take him anywhere. No, I said some iffy things that really should not have been said. And if anybody listened to that episode and was like, wow, screw that junk, that guy sucks, I'm sorry. Episode's gone now. But I'm happy to be back. We're about to reach the 20-minute mark. Why don't we just go with, it's February 21st, but let's go with our 2025 predictions. And I don't know if I have many, but 2025 predictions, I'm predicting, let's just go with, I think I'm going to have another growth spurt. I'm feeling 6'4". I think Mr. Beast is going to come to me and he's going to be like, here's $5,000 a week. $5,000 a week for the next 10 years. Someone do the math on that. Chat, do the math on that. Tell me how much $5,000 a week is for the next 10 years. Wait. So 5,000. I like to do it like 5 times 52. So 52, 5 times 104, 208. So it's 260. Would that be... Wait. $260,000 a year for the next 10 years. That's like... I'm probably botching this so bad, but would that be $2.6 million a year? I don't know. Welcome back to the Good Times Cast, where I am going off track talking about math. Very exciting. I'm sure there's going to be some more, nice little breakdowns that I have where I'm yelling for no reason. I really did just have such an angry... I hate saying this word, but aura. I had an angry aura sometimes where I would just be yelling about coworkers or yelling about life. But anyway, back to 2025 predictions. Mr. Beast, $5,000 every week for the next 10 years. Low-key, I'm expecting... I think they're going to reboot the Fast and Furious franchise. Probably. I'm feeling that. Also, the Ice Age, I think they're going to announce 3 more movies. So, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be insane. They're going to be like, that's insane. But, yeah, Fast and Furious and Ice Age both getting 6 more movies each. Wow. Okay. I think Pixar is going to go bankrupt. Oh my goodness, that is not good. But, yeah, we're at 22 minutes. I feel like we're almost at a point to where this is a podcast episode. I'm starting to get jittery. I'm starting to get excited. I feel like I'm getting like, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting vibes that I'm back. I feel good. I feel fiery. I don't know, spicy? But yes, okay, so should we start? What did I used to say when I would leave? Would I just go, bye-bye? I don't even know. I gotta think of a new outro. I have to think of a new outro. But, I'm so sorry. But I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm happy to be back, guys. Genuinely, if you want to be in an episode, if you want to edit, if you want to help produce, if you have ideas, hit me up, DM me, phone number, email, whatever. You know where I am. I'll be back at some point. Not sure when. Could be a day, could be a week, could be a month, could be a year, or maybe never. But I'm happy I did this episode. I hope you all are doing so great. And let's do it again next time. See ya.